Hey everyone, it's your sewing buddy Lauren, and it's been a bit. I've been working full time. Today we are going to create some covered buttons. So what I'm doing first is using my stencil, which I found a bottle that roughly fits the size I need. I'm just going to trace that out. I'm going to go through one button first and then talk at you about some other things while I make a bunch more. I'm being a lot more fussy about cutting this out than I need to be, but that's just me. And the reason the reason I'm doing these covered buttons is because I couldn't find any burgundy fabric covered buttons for my Moulin Rouge dress, which is still in progress because I've been working full time and also having a little bit of depression, but that is my life. Once you have your nice, neat little circle, the buttons that I got came with a little base and an anvil, and these are the buttons. This is the button head, which is the part that's going to be fabric covered. So you lay that on your fabric, you lay that over the anvil, you make sure that your fabric is right side down because there is a side of this fabric which is more neatly embroidered than the other. Kind of press that in just a little bit. I like to take a pencil and give it that last little push. And then the anvil bit is this cute little plastic thing. And next we get the button back, which I got shaft buttons. Is that what they're called? The one with the little loop instead of buttonholes. So next I like to take the end of that pencil, tuck in all those little fabric edges so we get a nice neat button. A lot of people will put glue in here at this point as well. I am living dangerously and not doing that. So the way you're supposed to do this is pressing down really hard and realizing that that is not nearly enough force to get it in. So I've got my hammer here. Just give it a good whack and hope that it stayed put. You get your button out and then give it another good whack. Just trying to flatten this out a little bit here so that it stays put. Whack it again. Okay, and then test it, make sure that you have a good grip, and that is a successful button. So now moving on to tracing out a bunch more. And while that happens, what is going on in my life right now? Well, my coworker has been on vacation for 2 weeks, which again is why I haven't gotten around to recording. I've also been doing stuff on Mondays, like with friends, which is weird. I mean, it's great, but it's weird that I suddenly have such a full schedule. It's odd what happens when you go out and do stuff with people. Other than that, life is life. Have not been sewing nearly as much as I need to be, so I'm going to get back to that today since it's my first actual day off where I have absolutely nothing on the schedule other than my own things, and I feel like I could actually accomplish something, hence why I'm here talking with you. The added benefits of doing fabric covered buttons, like this is a synthetic fabric that I'm using, so because I'm making buttons out of it, all of these scraps which would otherwise be going to a landfill are going to be much, much smaller and much less plastic going back out into the environment. I mean, mostly my scraps would go to Sew for Love, which is a local charity. I think they make stuffed animals and things for charity shops to raise funds and whatnot. But I feel a lot better knowing that just little tiny bits are going to go out as opposed to these big pieces. These were actually from the failed first run of the Moulin Rouge dress, so that's why I have such large pieces left over. For the embroidery on the Moulin Rouge dress, I decided I'm just gonna buy some fairly similar looking ribbon trim and deal with it that way because I fell behind and there's just no way I'm going to get all of that done, plus all of the other things I want to get done before costume college. Plus, by the way, I have probably got a pattern maker for launching my first little bit of fashion out into the world. I just need to get the last little bits of flats and then get those to the pattern maker, get the pattern done, find a factory, figure out what fabric I want to use for the skirt because I'm still debating that. But yeah, things are progressing there and it's really exciting and really terrifying, and I might actually be able to do this as a thing one day. I'm not putting all of my eggs in that basket yet because it's a hit or miss world out there. As they say, one day you're in and the next day you're out. And your goal just has to be staying in for as long as possible, keeping up with the trends, and being adaptable. By the way, if you are interested in getting into fashion for a business yourself, or costuming for a business, or honestly any kind of creative business you're wanting to start up, Foundations Revealed is a wonderful resource, and it is $30-something a month, which is a little bit pricey, but it's honestly worthwhile because there's so many resources. There are people there who are going through the same thing. It is sewing focused. Foundations Revealed is specifically corsetry focused, and then your Wardrobe Unlocked is more fashion and whatnot. But it's anything that you're curious about in the sewing world or in starting up a creative business, they probably have an article or have plans for an article, or there are people in the Facebook group who you can talk at and get some really good advice and answers. This is not sponsored content. This is just me wanting to share resources with you in case you're going through what I'm going through. Again, it's a terrifying thing. And there were times where, once I got my fashion flats drawn by Asher, I started this freak out process of, okay, I know what my next step is. I need to get a pattern maker, but my brain keeps saying, no, but you're missing that other step behind that. And I'm like, okay, what step is that? It's that other step. But yes, there are other things I can do, like cost sheet, sizing charts, fabric sourcing. So I kind of busied myself with all of those so that I could keep that part of my brain kind of satisfied. Trick my brain into thinking that I am doing those other things, even though you didn't specify what those other things are. They're getting done. Yep. And like I said, right now I'm just waiting on my last set of flats so I can get those to a pattern maker. I'm trying to friend source everything because I know I have a lot of creative friends and I would really love to be able to support them in their creative endeavors as opposed to going for someone who's already an established business and I guess just feeding into this whole capitalism thing of, yay, bigger businesses succeed and then the little folk fail who are trying to do anything. That's not the way that we should be running, honestly. I am trying to stay local with most of it. And so far, so good. I think I have a factory in Alameda that I could use. I haven't visited with them or anything, but I have plans. But yeah, my artist person, not just for flats, but also logo design and all of that, is a friend who was looking to do art commissions. So I put him to work. And then my pattern maker is a friend of a friend. I still don't know exactly the pricing that it would be, but the big company I was talking to said the patterns plus grading would be around $1,500. So we'll see how and where that goes. If I do wind up having to go with the big company for pattern drafting, at some point, I know I do need to go with someone established who knows the business. Double checking buttons again. It's just, I would rather be able to help people get their foot in the door if this is something that they're interested in doing. It's, it's easier for me, it's good for them, it's really good for everyone. And the other thing I want to focus on is sustainability. It turns out that is heckin' difficult. Trying to find fabrics that are natural fiber and not like something that's over harvested or, slave labor or anything like that. So I am trying to be cautious there and see what I can do or how close I can get to, being a conscious brand. Also, hashtag no segue, that notebook I'm using as sort of a base for this whole operation was my attempt at a daily schedule. You can see a whole plethora of just trying to schedule out my days, and I don't believe I stuck to most of that. I'm the sort of person who will create a very detailed schedule for myself and then decide I don't wanna and not. So that is another thing that I need to work on, really. That's also part of why this video is 2.5 weeks late. I will have something. I shouldn't say I'll have something new on Monday. I'm going thrifting with my friend Alex on Monday, so we'll see. I'll try. Manaz is back in Paris next week, so I still can't guarantee anything, but I will do my best to be with you as regularly as possible. And I guess, as always, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me what you've been creating while you've been listening to me. Tell me if you've tried making covered buttons on your own. And I hope this has been helpful either as background noise or for learning how to create covered buttons. You can see here all of the buttons I've made so far. This is not even half of what I need for the Moulin Rouge dress, but I'm getting there little by little, as are we all. And whatever it is that you do while you are listening to this or what you do for your creative output, I hope that you will go and create something beautiful this week.